So I was asked, do we want to do a single defense? Now let's do double defense. It's got some spice to it, even if I just insta-die. But I was asked, what games am I looking forward to? And the answer is I'm not. I do not look forward to games, and I have not looked forward to pretty much any game for a very, very long time. Which probably sounds like a really weird thing to say. But it's true. I don't generally look forward to most game releases because fundamentally I'm too focused on games that are already out or have been out for a while, and that trying to pay attention to something that is new, that isn't even out yet, is kind of meaningless to me. You know, a lot of people... I saw a narrative across the board for Elden Ring, not Elder Souls. Have I been calling it Elder Souls all day? I don't know. I think I have, but it's fine, whatever. But, ooh. Take some damage, but I should probably get some things down. Let's grab the enchanted bolts. Or do we want to get bleed them dry? Let's grab bleed them dry for now at the very least, because it'll take a little bit. I will now always refer to it as Elder Souls. Grandpa? Anyway. I was gonna say. But so, there was kind of a narrative that spawned over the last week or so of a bunch of people talking about not knowing what they're going to do with themselves prior to Elden Ring and feeling very lost and confused. Which is just kind of a weird statement, just in general, because, like, people should have other things to do with themselves than just, you know, Elden Ring, Elder Souls, Old Souls, Grandpa Souls. Okay, so, you know, as good as Grandma Souls is going to be, you know, fundamentally there's just other games, and I don't know what's going to be wrong with it. I don't know what's going to be kind of the main features. I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm pretty sure it's going to be great, in fact. But that, you know, I'm still trying to finish Nova Islands, and that game ain't even out yet. Jagged Edges, no, slow but sure, maybe. Let's go Vile Consumption, just because some of the poison perks are really good. But yeah, I make it a point not to get hyped for games because I've been burned too many times. Now they get cautious optimism at best and apathy at worst. I think I'm a little bit more passionate about... Oof. Wow. Do we want Expunge or Creeping Cough? Let's actually go Creeping Cough over Expunge. No, let's go for Expunge. Expunge is a massive... massive damage boost. Let's see. Do we want to do burn damage now? Yes. Okay, I'm going to expand that by a little bit just to give it some space. As long as these remain parallel, I want to keep them kind of together. Oh boy. This is going to hurt. Ow! This might be a good mortar day. It's a good mortar day. We'll figure it out, but first, I really gotta figure out how the hell I'm gonna manage this. You're going to be armor, because I think almost all of these guys are currently focused on progress. I was just getting through based on... let's see. I was getting through mostly on merit of quantity versus quality, and that turns out to be kind of limited in its uses. Let's see. Let's keep expanding that a little further and figure it out. So, I think I'm a little bit more positive about quite a number of new releases than I think that perspective. You know, the idea of cautious optimism at best. There's a number of games that I'm really excited for. Maybe not necessarily because they're going to be good, but because some fundamental factor in their existence makes them kind of an attractive product. what's the Square Enix isekai game? I mean, there's two of them. I'm really looking forward to Stranger in Paradise, the I'm here to kill chaos, you know, that stupid meme game. I'm looking forward to that. The reason why is because it looks stupid as shit, and the demo was fun, and that was it. But no, there's the other one. Is it Forspoken? I think it's Forspoken. That one seemed really neat. And it could be absolute garbage, but at the same time, it looks lovely, and, you know, the protagonist isn't just gruff, angry white guy, which is something that, you know, I have to live that experience. I'd like a couple of games that give me the opportunity to be something else. I know that's a hot take for some people, but from my perspective, oh god, what was I playing? I was playing Dying Light 2. I love the idea of Dying Light 2, and I just can't play it. I'm so bored by the character. I realize it doesn't have to be interesting, but like, Deathloop absolutely ruined me as far as really compelling protagonists for a while. Because he was not a good guy, but he was fun to be in the game. And there was kind of an inherent enjoyment of just kind of being there to witness and experience that entire process. Yeah, give me dad vibes protagonists. Yeah, if I gotta be a gruff man dude, dad vibes are a good way to do it. Do we want to go for Slow But Sure or Bleed Them Dry? Let's go for Bleed Them Dry. We might want to grab the Iron Mines just to make up for some of the damage I've taken. We'll see. Most armor, most health. I was not expecting to get dad vibes out of Death Stranding, actually. That turned out to be a big dad vibes game, which was a bit of a surprise. Let's see. Most health. Most armor. There we go. Just speed that up a little bit. There we go. But growing up in the 2010s when everybody was just the disgruntled kind of not early adults dude, but that very much Isaac Clarke angry man vibes. It was Isaac Clarke, right? I think so. You know, that era where that was the only character archetype, and the fact that, you know, for the most part we're still stuck with a lot of protagonists like that, it gets a little tiring for me. I realize that a lot of people are just kind of used to that default state and have trouble getting into other characters, but for me it's just exhausting being presented with the same characters endlessly. I probably should have grabbed the mine, but whatever. Grab Slow But Sure. Bile consumption. Now let's go for Enchanted Bolts. I think. Isaac Clarke in Dead Space 1 was the perfect character for the protagonist. Well, yeah, because he was functionally no one. I honestly wish they had actually just never shown his face, and he was just perpetually just question mark dude. Because he wasn't even really a character in Dead Space 2. He was there. I didn't really like him. Okay, let's just do most shield. And then maybe another one of these that is just most armor, least shield. There we go. I think the other issue that I ran into specifically with Dying Light 2 was that almost every other character you interact with is more interesting, for better and worse. What was it? Hassan? I realize Hassan probably wouldn't have made it as a main character for plot reason one or two. Or, you know, some amount of plot reasons would explain specifically why he wouldn't be a viable protagonist. But he was charming and actually had like a reason to to kind of be there. I don't know. I could get into more of this if I wanted to, but the main character is very, very much just like, I'm here to find my sister. And then beyond that, they have no real stakes in the story or the characters that are available. I think that can work, but I'm just exhausted by it. Kind of the same thing with open worlds and a bunch of other things that I'm very much... There's a lot of things that are done to death, and that the more they're done, the more I'm just kind of exhausted by their existence. Did I not actually get the creeping cough? I don't think I did. Man, you know what actually, it wouldn't happen, but I think it would have actually been really cool for Dead Space if they had actually kept, you know, never showed his face, and then eventually, like, he sees himself in a mirror or whatever, and straight up, like, has this weird perception that, no, he is just a dead man. And that, like, very much, oh yeah, this guy is extremely mentally ill and just pushing onwards anyway. Dying Light as a series has this issue where you could remove the player character and then have you take control of another character in the story, and not only would it not majorly change things, but it would be a better story. Yeah, like, oh, what was the main character called? Crane? Crane at least was kind of okay. He had a little bit of dad vibes, and let's do most armor but near death, actually. Because if we're lucky, maybe that'll shoot for the troop transports. Trying to kill those things is, like, weirdly hard. Do we want bleed? Extra damage to shields. Mortars gain burn. That's the ticket. That's the stuff I'm looking for. Brother liked Crane in the first game. Aiden can trip and fall off a building. I'd have to play more to really see. I just know specifically for Crane, they'd pushed him to have, like, a little bit of a mentor angle with the, oh shoot, whatever the younger character was. Jade's younger brother. And so there was a little bit of a dynamic there that felt better. But yeah, despise Crane, he was kind of stupid and kind of went along with what everyone around him told him to do. Would have rather played Jade. I agree, because she actually had stakes and lived there and knew people. There's so many games, the reason why they give you this kind of character that is not experienced and has not met any of the characters is so that you as a player can have the same experience. It's the same reason why you have teenagers oftentimes as protagonists in games. Is not necessarily because they want to have teens, but because it's so much easier to write a story and explain the world and show everything off. Let's see. Probably just going to keep focusing on most shield for the time being. Expand this a little bit. I'll see if I can get this to turn or not. But amnesia and inexperience are good tools for tutorials too. Yeah. And for why a character doesn't have powers, doesn't know anybody, hasn't been anywhere. It's why many JRPG protagonists come from the remote town that, you know, nobody ever goes to. Or even knows exists. Specifically thinking of, like, Golden Sun and some other games. And frankly, like, it's a decent convention and it works well enough, but the problem is it's done so much that it's not very interesting. Having Jade be the protagonist could have been a pretty big improvement, I think. Crane wasn't a character, more of an excuse for the plot to go forward. Yep. And, you know, it works if you don't care too much about the story, but, you know, having played Deathloop very much, I kind of realized that, no, you can still have this character that is the avatar for the player that is still freaking fun to experience. And, you know, just having him be a very vibrant character. I mean, my favorite thing was him trying to guess passwords and just going through word after word after word, just trying to guess, you know, what the answer is, and it was great. There was a lot of other stuff to it too, but it was fun. Same thing with, like, if you ever stepped on a landmine in Deathloop, your character would make kind of this whooping sound. Your character, shoot, what was his name? I actually have forgotten, unfortunately. Cole. Was it Cole? Yeah, Cole. Cole would, like, he would make a noise. He'd be like, ah! And it was a yelp. You know, normally you just kind of have the angry man grunt, but he legitimately sounded like he had just gotten a Colt. There we go. I was close. But he sounded like he had just gotten blasted and was quite upset about, you know, what had just happened-ish. And it was a good way of handling it in a way that made it feel like, yeah, sure, I'm still the person controlling this character, but this is a legitimate character that exists within this world. Whereas, like, my favorite character to point at for why this is such a big problem, I don't know how many of you guys have played Dragon Quest XI, but that character is the least interesting protagonist I have ever met. And I've played just a tremendous number of games with silent protagonists, but that one takes the cake for just absolutely not interesting. Oh, damn it. I was really hoping I could turn it and bring it back. Because if this came back, this would get so damn spicy. Okay, one thing I need to do is focus on slowest. These guys keep trying to shoot for the fast dudes, and it is not worth it. There we go. Okay, how are we looking? Vaguely better. Another targeting thing that would actually be quite nice. Let's see. Most health, most armor, and slowest. There we go. Another thing that would actually be really useful would actually be telling a mortar to, like, prioritize a lane, which actually would be pretty good. Dead Space, Halo, and Portal are good examples of the quiet protagonist doing wonders. I don't know about Portal. I think Portal's kind of an iffy example, namely just because, like, you really don't interact with anything to begin with. Like, it's okay, but it's not amazing. Let's see, mortars do more burn damage. I'm probably just going to kill it with fire. Let's just get our status effect damage up. It might turn. We'll see. Trying to think of a good example. Doom Guy in Doom 2016 and also Doom Eternal. I feel like he was a really good silent protagonist. Because he was kind of... pantomime is really important. If you're gonna just have a totally quiet protagonist, they have to have some kind of... I guess gimmick to give him a personality beyond that. So, like, I remember characters being like, you know, hey, Doom Guy, don't do the thing. And then the Doom Guy does the thing, but worse. So it's like, don't pull out that battery. And he just absolutely breaks it. Just no mercy. Or like, don't turn that machine off. And he just puts a boot through it or just walks off with it or something like that. And it was really satisfying being the player in that perspective because he was doing exactly what I was hoping he would do. And it worked. Another good example would actually be Samus in Metroid Dread. That she didn't say anything. Well, no, actually she did talk, which is kind of fun. Oh, yes, we might actually get our wish here. But so, she did talk a little bit, but for the most part, it was all body language and action. So when it was like Kraid. Kraid was roaring in her face. And she's just standing there so defiantly. And you don't need to say anything in that moment. That was perfect. Her saying something would have actively made it worse. Let's do most armor. Should probably go through and start upgrading some of my ballistas. is a little dicier of a situation because we don't have that much money. Okay, I'm gonna have these kind of focus on near death. So the vampires are gonna become a problem. Yeah, a number of these are just too weak. Yeah, I'm dead. Damn. I don't know. I think one of my biggest problems that I'm running into with this game is that there are still too many dang cards. And so it's actually really difficult to get the ones you want. Like, I actually shut down... Oh, you know what? No. I actually turned off quite a number in hopes of having less variety clogging up the tubes, and I'm still not getting what I want. Because we needed slow there. I like Sekiro in that regard. The protagonist does talk, but very little and rarely shows personality through dialogue, but some of his actions tell a lot about what's going on in his head. Yeah. Bit of a weird one, but I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV lately. And for the most part, your character is just kind of a blank slate for you to just be there. But some of the dialogue options they give to you are just so inherently goofy and brilliant. Or badass. Like, it varies quite a lot. But it's quite fun having a character that has just some, like, really bonkers lines that you can just throw out left and right. Let's see. Okay, I think I might go back to houses. I know a lot of people were saying houses bad, but I think especially in lanes like this, it's a good idea. Because I've definitely been having trouble with money. Let's see, ballistas do bleed damage. Well, this ain't useful. I guess, do we go for more bleed damage? I might as well. Okay, let's bump this up to ×3 speed. And grab banditry. There we go. Because I'm definitely going to need some more funds. Okay, poison, bleed them dry. I mean, I guess I might as well go for the bleed damage. No. Let's go for slow but sure. Ish. Okay, the problem is I want to fill this space. And if I can do that, this gets a lot easier. Let's see. Quantity over quality. Yeah, let's just go eviscerate. Okay, that's a turn. That's potentially a really dicey turn, or maybe not a problematic one. Okay, another level of broadhead bolts, which, I mean, inherently is actually pretty good. Yeah, grab it. Okay. Okay. Put that there. I could try encampments for once, but I still think it's not worth... Well, nope, I don't really have much of a choice here. Sure, let's try encampments for once. Okay, and that's turning internally, which is bad? Good bad. We'll see how it goes. And frankly, as far as things go, ooh, that hurts. Wow, consumption, banditry level 2. Creeping cough would be great, but also a very iffy time for it. Okay, let's demolish both of those, because they straight up don't help me. Okay, you're going to be most armor. Just do that. There we go. And yeah, we've got some landmines that should kind of slow their advance a little bit. Now do we get creeping cough? Yeah, I'll grab it now. See what I can do with it. Another encampment there. I'll probably get another one there. Just kind of spread them around. Unfortunately, you really want to back cluster most of your encampments, which is not actually a good thing. Because they need time to wind up. Frost bolts. Force blitz. Let's see. Oh, I cannot tell any of the heights available here. That's a problem. What is my overall house protection funding? I don't know. I think house protection is very worthwhile. Please keep turning. Yes. Also, we have a lot of houses to protect here. I normally do not have this many houses to protect, but I think from a financial perspective, this is worth it, especially because ballistas don't get that much more expensive. Videos have been helping me fall asleep the last few weeks. Your voice is very calming. I want to say thank you for doing videos regularly and being one of the most relaxing YouTubers out there. Yeah. There's a very real possibility I'm actually going to focus. I don't want to say train my voice to be more soporific, but it does feel like it would not be the worst idea in the world for me as a content creator to go that direction. Oh, there we go. ASMR bot channel. I mean, I really could. And, like, it would cost nothing, because if you want to fall asleep to my voice, cool. And if you don't, well, you fall asleep anyway, and then you end up watching however many of my videos. It's a win-win for me no matter what. Okay, let's grab Frost Bolts level 2. That's something we've been needing for the last couple of rounds. And let's grab Freezing Bolts just for some extra juice. Hello. We're just getting a lot of No Man's Land. Mine? Nah, let's go Trail of Blood. There we go. I see Wander's engagement drop to 0 as his viewers pass out. But my views and my watch time are going to be great. And I'm going to tell you, one of those is valuable, the other is meaningless. I see a lot of people leaving comments being like, I'm leaving a comment for the algorithm, and like, part of me just wants to say like, it's meaningless, don't bother. YouTube used to care about comments, and maybe they do a little bit from like an engagement perspective, but the only thing they care about is watch time. Twitch, on the other hand, engagement is actually pretty important, though maybe not for the reason you think. Namely just because if I have no engagement on Twitch, I start to get really weirded out. There we go. That works out. Bonus damage to shields is tempting. Yeah, let's do it. Especially if I can get them to do some poison damage. Do you want to get that there? Nah, I'm gonna put that there. That's got some good rang. Oh. Yeah, most important stat is platform retention. Yep. Which, I mean, I would say, well, yeah, for the whole of YouTube. They don't care if one of my videos sends you on a rabbit hole for, like, 10 hours, as long as it keeps you in the rabbit hole for that long. It's very strange. I would say engagement shows that your viewers aren't all bots. YouTube, but YouTube has shot that down. Well, YouTube knows if a viewer is a bot or not. They're much, much better about not botting views. Landmines do poison damage. Yes. Do that one. Kind of works. Okay. Where else do I want to? You know what? I'm just gonna toss landmines everywhere. It doesn't really matter. It'd be great if priorities for landmines would actually make it so that they're oof. Do I want this? I mean, kind of. Yeah, I'll grab it. Yeah, more house ballistas. Yup. Okay, is that every house surrounded? I think so. Okay, we're on 18. I'm gonna keep going this way. Make the most of what I got. Actually found your channel through the algorithm Rogue Tower, and now I'm hooked, so I play a bunch of other games. So I'm set for content for a while. Yeah. Welcome on in. I'm a little distracted playing Rogue Tower, to be honest. If I put this here, oh, that's some good coverage right there. And then this one, honestly, for this path, because it's so damn long here, I think I might actually just want to be kind of ridiculous and just do landmine spot after landmine spot. I'm not actually sure if this location is as good as it could be. Because if I put it here... Damn it, wrong one. If I put it here, its range is higher, but its rate is less? Or no, I'm probably wrong. No, this actually has the best rate. What if it's here? Because this is a really good spot. Yeah, this is the one. Also, encampment upgrades are very cheap. I didn't really comment on that before now. It's so crazy to me how Wander has over 100,000 subs, let alone closing on 500,000. So remember watching Tower of Gods, Vagante, and Catacomb Kids. Wow, that's OG. I actually want to go back and play some Tower of Guns at some point soon. It's such a shame that people didn't care about that game nearly as much as I do. Because, like, that remains probably, like, one of the best niche... Oh, no, I gotta go for the range. That probably remains one of the best niche roguelikes that nobody's ever heard of or played. Do we get another encampment here? Yeah. Oh, that's a lot. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this bad. I'll probably put some more encampments kind of around here. Unfortunately, these landmines are kind of pointless. I almost wish landmines, instead of just the encampments throwing out landmines over the course of a round, landmines would stick around, but each encampment has like a limit on how many they can put down at a time. Let's see. Do we want to do Bleed Them Dry, Enchanted Bolts, or Slow Cooker? Let's go for Bleed Them Dry. So you're aware of Mother Gunship? Oh, absolutely. I loved Mother Gunship with a couple of caveats of, while Mother Gunship was like a fantastic game, it did suffer a little bit in terms of lack of replayability. I know they added a proper roguelike mode, but it wasn't the same. Biggest difference that I ran into, that I struggled with a little bit, was just that there was only a handful of bosses in the game and you never refought, like, any of them. Which was kind of a downer, because that was, like, kind of the best part. It wasn't the best part, but it felt like just the levels over and over and over again just got kind of stale after a while. You need to have a little bit of variety to keep things going. I'm gonna put that there and then we'll stop. Because in retrospect, expanding this is kind of meaningless here. Okay, get that. Yeah, that's a good spot. But I'm gonna have to expand these lanes tremendously, otherwise these encampments are going to be squandering a lot of their hits on enemies that have already passed. There we go. It does feel like encampments have gotten tremendously better, and a lot of that might honestly just be me. Do I want vial consumption? Actually, I think we need it. Let's see. If I put this up here, that's pretty good coverage. I think encampment upgrade costs being cheap goes a long way. Well, there's Expunge. Could also go for Make Them Suffer. But no, let's grab Expunge. Make them suffer is good. Oh, look at all those landmines go. This is what I was kind of hoping for. Can we just put that there? Sure. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, do I have another? Yes. I figure if I just get the shield multiplier up a little bit. And then you should just be pure health damage, and maybe a lot. Okay, that is closer than I'm comfortable with. Oh, please don't get killed by zombie Oogie. Oh, holy shit. That could have gone really badly. Clearly I need to focus more on my defenses over here. He died right on my tower. Oh yeah, let's grab the university, seeing as it's time to get them down anyway. Sanguinate? Sure. That was down to the wire. Let's see. Honestly, I'm just gonna kind of spread a couple of these out. Probably for most shield. There we go. And yeah, keep expanding these. Because yeah, I've only got, what, 5 encampments over here versus the 2, 6, 11, 13. Yeah, so this side needs a little bit of a pick-me-up. Okay, let's see. Universities gain. I like the Sanguinate one, but we gotta grab scholarships. Hopefully we'll find some universities. Or we won't. I don't truly know. Yeah, luckily, at least for this side, there's a lot of landmines that they gotta get through to get to the end here. Okay. File consumption 2. Go heavy shafts. I want status effects. There we go. Still no university spots. Hey, watch me get my own achievement this round. I'm here for it. Spread that out. Okay, these guys are getting through. So we might want to think of a couple of these. Let's grab Expunge. I think the big problem is I don't have a whole lot of crit chance, which is probably not helping. Okay, I'm probably just gonna have these guys focus on fastest. And I usually get a lot of flack for just going fastest over and over again, but I think in this case, that's what we want to be shooting at. Probably have these kind of do most shield. Though the big problem is, once again, I have not seen Longbow go by. Which is a legitimate problem. Yeah, we have no crit chance. So stuff like a Sanguinate is pointless. Oh, nope, there it is. Sadly, this does nothing because it's on a hill next to the thing. There we go. That should carry a little bit. Oh boy. That's a lot of demon buddies. Which of these have the highest rate of fire? I mean, some of them. Probably like this one. I mean, maybe I just go through and make each of these level 10. Then maybe another encampment here. 111. Yeah. There we go. Because my main goal is I want to stall them for as long as possible so they get blasted by as many landmines as I possibly can. Or I just die, because they can just tank all of them in sequence, and then I just can't get my landmines to bear. How the hell did that work? I mean, okay, that robot gets through with his missiles. Towers gain crit chance. There we go, I've been looking for that. Oh, I'd love to give... Shit. We might actually want the bouncing Betty, now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. Yeah, the big problem is all of my ballistas have just painfully short range. And my encampments aren't fast enough to really stop my foes. Okay. The next other thing I should probably consider is how long it takes for everything to get to the end. Because I need to stagger it better. Okay, let's just go with that. What else do we want to do? Sanguinate level 2. Landmines do extra damage to armor. Yeah, we need the burn. Okay. Well, that's a plus. It's not huge, but it's there. Okay. There's a lot of robots. I'm just hoping that the landmines provide ample resistance. There we go. Well, we're not dead yet. More poison damage, more poison damage. Let's just go for high explosive for the time being. Okay. Let's get a number of these around. So yeah, once again, no base crit chance makes this much, much harder. Shoot. Oh, right. I should probably do most armor, least shield. There we go. And I guess I can't get in another encampment, but that's fine. Fastest, fastest. There we go. Let's just spread upgrades around. Because a lot of these boyos are kind of not really worth anything until I do. And even then, I really need that crit upgrade. You know, I haven't seen mana bolts show up either. I wonder if there's certain upgrades that actually show up based on my overall player level. Oh, well, it's not actually, that's not good. Okay, do you want to do armor damage? Let's just do a lot of shield damage. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately these guys are just tanky shit. They're having trouble just because the landmines stop them, but it's still spooky. Next level of a sanguinate. No, landmines do burn damage. Yeah, because they do that much more damage. Let's see, what else can I keep expanding? It kind of doesn't really matter here. All mines have a blast area, right? Would it be better to stack them together? Yes and no. The only reason why you don't want to do that is the Trojan horse enemies have a bad tendency of taking that and exploiting it a little. There we go. There we go next. Here? All towers gain 5% crit chance. Yes. Perfect. Alright, there we go. Just kind of keep expanding that. We just want to let my landmines build up as much as I possibly can. This side is actually not as much of a problem. It was an issue earlier, and it might become an issue again. But one of the main benefits here is that only one lane's worth of enemies are coming through here, whereas 3, 5, 7, 8 or so are coming through there, which is a lot tougher. Okay, most armor, most shield. Okay, so it looks like we're in a good position to just kind of shred Oogie slowly. I will say, it looks like it's better to actually give my ballistas the status effects, but it's fine. Let's go kill it with fire. And what do we grab? Trail of blood, because I probably don't want the rest. Maybe I do. It's hard to tell. Let's see, can I afford one more? Yes. Where do I put it? Here. Or won't let me put it there. Well, that's sure. I guess I can put it right there. That's an okay spot. There we go. Start expanding it that way. So can you still get achievements with the mods? Yes. Yes, you can. Nice. Come for me. Ooh. I mean, we're definitely getting better replacement speeds, but this is a lot of shielded enemies and I'm not as built for them. Or am I? The other immediate problem is that the landmines don't actually... They don't really work that well with stats effects. Okay. And some of those dudes were getting through. I guess easy trick would be... I'm just gonna put some ballistas all over here. Get him up to level 7 or so. There we go. Now I'm out of money. That's fine. Ah, dang. I was hoping I could get this to go back up. Remember when people used to argue with Nightbot thinking it wasn't a real person? It still happens whenever I stream on YouTube. I just don't stream on YouTube that much. Those were odd days. Hopefully people know better now. I gotta give credit that the landmines do absolutely shred these clustered enemy groups. There's still a concern because they keep just, you know, exploding into more creatures, but... Let's see, make them suffer? Make them suffer. There we go. Ooh. Why have we not found the longbow upgrade yet? I'm actually pretty bewildered by that. Okay, how are these guys doing? Well, surprisingly well. We're also getting, like, shit tons of mana here. Let's see. Could keep going for the status effect damage, but I think I'm going to keep pushing the crit chance. Yeah, almost wave 40. Yup. Well, I've got a ton of money. So we should be spending it. Probably on just anti-shields for the time being. Let's see. 23, 15, 10. Here you go. Yeah, nice part is encampment upgrades are extraordinarily cheap. They must have continued to nerf the price. Just because fundamentally, they're hard to use. Let's see, you're level 9. Probably buff some of these up. There we go. That should be better. Let me see. Probably this one. Just gonna put all my money into that. There we go. Okay. What else do we do? I think we're fine. Power ballistas are a thing, mate. Yeah, I don't really care about them. They barely can shoot anything, and they're level 10. The thing is, anything that gets close to these guys pretty much has too much health. Because if they can get through all of my landmines, like, it's not overwhelmingly worth investing into them. Maybe it is, but I'd rather invest into something that has a much higher chance of actually shooting enemies consistently. Also, quality over quantity, which should absolutely just crank these things' crit rate up. Not as much as I'd like to, but it's there. Actually thought Nightbot was one of Wander's siblings when you started watching. That's adorable. I love that. I should tell that to my brother. How do you feel about rebranding as Nightbot? Okay, here's the thing. I could go for a sensible option, but what if I just did more encampments? Oh, wave 40. No, I'm dead. Woohoo, boy. Freaking sucks, man. Let's take a look at that. So here's the other interesting thing. My ballistas, even though I barely invested them, still were actually just better. Like, I definitely should have spent some more time and money on those ballistas. The big issue is, and I've said this before, encampments, the way they work, the way they put down mines, is they will just endlessly put down mines around them. So, If you were doing a really, really long, singular lane with no breaks, you could effectively build up an obscene amount of mines along the way, potentially. The immediate problem is that, you know, with a map like this, enemies will kind of rush this, and then you will get a second group through and a third group through. Or, no, enemies will rush this, and they'll still keep putting mines in the back. There's no way that I can control where the mines go. I almost kind of wish for the mine camp I could just be like, no, like right here. And kind of paint the priority zones, or something to that extent. Because any landmines put down on this path, this part of the path, this path, or even here, is pointless. That I needed all the mines on this area, or something. That the one thing I will give credit to for the encampments is very much that they do have a huge AoE, which is actually quite useful, in a way that ballistas have difficulty dealing with. All the same. I don't know. I think fundamentally just wave 40 on this game gets really bad in a way that I still have not fully solved outside of a couple of runs and single lane runs. It's fine. It might be better spread out, maybe. No, because I can't put them closer. Like, I can't put them closer to a spawn point because that means the encampment doesn't have the chance to actually put out its mines. So encampment puts out one mine every, say, 3 seconds, give or take. Every 3 or 4 seconds. What you want to do is have those encampments as far back as possible so they have as much time to generate mines as possible. You put them up front, like near an enemy, they might only be able to put out 3 mines before all of the enemies have passed by them, at which point they're no longer useful. And so you absolutely have to have them in back. I think the true trick would have been for me to have a lot more ballistas spread out much earlier. Like many more ballistas spread out earlier, just to get some status effects going. Do mines survive from round to round? They don't, and I think that's actually the design issue that I struggle with on them. That because they disappear at the end of a round, it means you really have to keep them in the back. Once again, trick would have been just, yeah, more ballistas earlier, but I feel like I want to specialize around the tower I'm building around, which is kind of the issue. That, like, if I'm doing a encampment run, I really want to just focus on the encampments and not the ballistas, but I have to. We also just did not see a couple of things show up. Oh. That's why Longbow didn't show up. That's interesting. So, now I know. The reason why I'm having trouble getting a Longbow or Mana Bolts or Frost Bolts is they are tied to the second tier. They got moved back 1. Because previously, as soon as you got Enchanted Bolts, or even just before, I think, you just have access to Mana Bolts. Potentially, yeah, no. You could get Mana Bolts right off the bat. But now you have to get them after getting Enchanted Bolts too. That's why they're not showing up. That's okay. That's fine. We'll do one more. I want to win. We'll do a single lane.